And welcome back to Clark Sports Cards. It's that time of the day. Everybody's been waiting for this. The Clark Sports Cards NFL Week 3 Pick'em of the Week. Guaranteed to lose. We'll do a little recap of last week's turnout. Wasn't as good as my first week, but as a team, picking teams, I went 8-7. As far as just straight out picking teams, 8-7. Still had a winning record in that, but you know, picking teams is a little bit easier than doing the odds. And then the odds, then a disappointing 7-8, and my favorites, which I have 6 of the week, went 2-4. So man, that was a little bit of a bust. So overall, for the year, after 2 weeks, picking teams, I'm 19-11. 16-14 against the odds, and my favorites are 5-7. That's kind of weird. Maybe we should go with the odds, which the favorites are also the odds as well, but that's kind of the ones that I showcase as far as what I think are the best bets, and losing in that. It's hard picking the odds, man. I mean, it's almost like if you're slightly over 500, then you did pretty good if you bet them all. But that's kind of my recap as far as the ones that I picked last week. Actually, my son and me are doing it on a weekly basis, and he forgot to pick one game and still beat me. He finished like 7-7, and I finished 7-8, so I went ahead and gave him the win of the week. So we do a little side betting, stuff like that, just to have fun, so we can pull for different teams and stuff like that. Just something a little different, not much money at stake, but just something for bragging rights more than anything. But yeah, if you're interested in doing this, let me know. We have fun time doing this. Me and my son, I think, gamble like $10 or something a week. That's something pretty small. So, all right, now this week's pick'em. What did I do with that sheet? Oh, here it is. Week 3. All right, let me get that. That's my son's picks, and I'll show you them in a second as well. But these are the week 3 point spreads. Now, like I said, we don't do the Thursday night game simply because it's just, you know, we wait till the weekend. But these are the teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's right, all the way to the Monday night game, which is the Philly game right there. So this is what I'm thinking here. All right. The first game is Colts against the Titans. Colts has got a backup quarterback in this week. They are getting 5.5 points, but it's at Tennessee. This is actually my 3-star pick of the week. I'm picking the Titans and giving up 5.5 points. I think that's a very good bet this week. We'll see. The next one's Falcon at the Giants. This one I was kind of, man, it was kind of like a toss-up either way. I didn't know which one to go. I figured it's at the Giants. I'm going to take the Giants and giving up the points this week for that pick. But that's probably one of my least one that I'm confident at as far as that goes. Chiefs and the Chargers. At the Chiefs. Chiefs lost last week. They're pretty pissed. They're giving up 6.5 points. Now, this is based on this morning when I printed this out. I'm sure that it went up maybe a half a point or up probably 1.5 points either way. But this is at the time of printing. This is what I had. I'm picking the Chiefs and giving up 6.5 points, and I'm also picking them to win this week, of course. The Bengals and Steelers. This is my 2-star pick of the week. I think the Bengals will win straight up, and we're also getting 3.5 points against the Steelers. Steelers is just, they're not playing that good. I mean, the quarterback scenario is just Big Ben has not been playing all that good. The running back, Najee Harris, has been a little bit of a disappointment for me. So, you know, I know it's at home at the Steelers. They always play tough D. Bengals ain't known for their defense, but I think that it's time for them to shine this week as far as their offense. So I'm taking the points. All right, Bears and Browns. This is going to be Justin Fields' first official start. I actually think that the Browns will win, but I think the odds bet is going to be with the Bears. They're getting 6.5 points. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Browns are going to win by like 3, 4, 5, 4 or 5 points, something like that. And I think that getting 6.5 points with the Bears, being that Justin Fields there, is going to cause a problem with the defense of the Browns. So I'm going and taking the points with the Bears, but I think the Browns will actually win in a squeak out. All right, Ravens at Detroit Lions. 8.5 points. At the Lions. Ravens is coming off a good win now's a good time for a nice team to come in and take them unexpected, and I think Detroit's to do that, especially getting 8.5 points at home. So technically you get 3 points for being a home field advantage. So really it's like they think that the Ravens is going to beat them by 11.5 points. So I'm taking the Ravens. I'm taking the Lions at 8.5 points, but I do think the Ravens will win. I think it's going to be, like I said, a 4 or 5 point, maybe even a 7-point game, something like that. But 8.5 points is a lot of points to cover in the NFL. So I'm taking that. I'll take the Lions. Saints and Patriots. This is a kind of close one for me as well. It's at home of the Patriots. Mac Jones done pretty good as far as a quarterback, managing the field a little bit. Not been spectacular as far as a star or anything like that, but he's done good overall. Down week, man, it was terrible last week for the Saints. It was brutal. They got to have a bounce back week, and they're getting 2.5 points. I'm picking the Saints to win straight out, and I also getting the 2.5 points. So there we go. Cardinals at Jags. This is a kind of a sneaky one for me, but I got to go with the Cardinals. Got to go with the gut. Trevor Lawrence has not done what's expected this year. I know it's at home. They're probably due for a win, but I think the Cardinals are just playing. Kyler Murray's playing out of his gourd. He's just awesome this year. A lot of weapons around him. 7.5 points. I think he'll cover that and win this week. Washington football team against the Bills, at the Bills. I think the Bills will win that game. I really do, especially with the backup quarterback coming in for Washington. But 7.5 points. Washington's got an awesome defense. I'm going to pick a low-scoring game. The Washington to cover, not to cover, but with the points at 7.5 points to win in the odds. But I think Buffalo will win in a close game. So I picked the Buffalo Bills to win, but I'm taking Washington and the points. Jets at Broncos. Jets is probably my biggest disappointment at all this year. I figured that they would come out and do okay. Zach Wilson would do all right. It's total opposite of that. Their just offense ain't doing anything. The defense ain't doing anything. That's why, hence, 10.5 points. That's a lot of points to cover, and I was kind of leery picking the Broncos, but for some reason, I can't pick the Jets. I just can't do it. I'm going to give up 10.5 points and taking the Broncos for that. The Raiders and the Dolphins. This right here has gone up and down as far as the odds. It's at the Raiders. Raiders is playing on fire, lights out. Tua is out injured. They said that's not going to affect the team. I think it will. The defense is always good for Miami, but the Raiders have been playing good all the way around. I think this is going to be a blowout. I'm giving up 3.5 points. I think they're going to win by like 20. So I'm picking the Raiders, and giving up 3.5 points. Seahawks at Vikings. Dalvin Cook's out. This is, by the way, that's a 1-star pick of the week for me. Same thing with Washington getting 7.5 points. That's my 1-star pick. The 2-star pick is Seattle against the Vikings. Dalvin Cook's out. That's a big blow for him. Still got some good receivers on that team, but Seahawks does as well. And it's hard to beat the Hawks. They're always close either way. I'm only giving up 1.5 points. It's at the Vikings, I know, but that's my 2-star pick of the week. I think that's going to be a game that Seattle's going to win by 14 points possibly. Bucks and Rams. This thing is floating left and right. Now I think it's a pick'em game, just about. A lot of people's betting on the Rams to come back and beat the Vikings. I don't think it's possible. The Buccaneers is just going to flat out destroy, I think, the Rams. I think it'll be a close game, but I think that also you've got Antonio Brown that's out, so it's going to hurt them a little bit, but they got so many wide receivers it really shouldn't affect them that much. They still got 3 powerful wide receivers to go to, even with Antonio Brown out. The only thing about it is they have good defense in the Rams, very good defense, probably one of the top 3 defenses in the league, in my opinion. And it's at the Rams. That's probably why they're giving up 1.5 points. But I got to take the Buccaneers and giving up the points on that, the Rams. Stafford has had a good year so far, though. Green Bay. My heart wants to go with the 49ers. My head says the Packers. So I'm going with the Packers and getting to 3.5 points. This team can't keep doing what they're doing without some type of blowing out teams. And I know the 49ers got an awesome defense and everything, but they're down to like their 3rd string running back right now. Trey Sermon now. Elijah Mitchell's out. So let's go with the Packers, right? Let's go with the Packers. Give me 3.5 points. I'll take the Packers. How many times do you see the Packers getting points? Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is always hard at home, but it's hard to game plan against a running quarterback. And that's what we got going on with the Eagles right now, and getting 3.5 points. I'm going to take the Eagles this week and get 3.5 points. I'm kind of a little shaky on that one a little bit, but I still think that the Eagles is the pick. So once again, through the overall week 2, there's my odds and everything like that. Bet for fun, whatever you want to do, but that's my picks of the week right there. We'll see how they turn out. I will tell you, my son, his Chafin's picks of the week, we're a little bit different. The ones we differ is the Stars. We pretty much pick the same on the rest of them. He's picking the Chargers versus the Chiefs, where I'm picking the Chiefs. He's picking the Browns, where I'm picking the Chicago Bears. He's picking the Ravens, whereas I'm picking the Detroit Lions. The Pats, he likes the Pats, so he's taking the Pats, where I'm taking the Saints. And for some reason, he's like, I think the Jags are going to win this week, so he's taking the Jags against the Cardinals, whatever. And he likes the Rams, like everybody's saying, the Rams over Tampa Bay and getting 1.5 points. So that's Chafin's pick of the week. We'll see who wins this battle this week. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And y'all keep on ripping. Clark Sports Cards out.